and let us all do we can to build a better future.
So we have a final story for you all today, and it's a video, and it's with CNN, and them saying that you should go shove it because you're not worthy. They are. They have the money, so shut up. Let's hear it from them.
Dynamics that we haven't focused on that much yet is the impatience among progressives in the Senate about this, about how far they're willing to go to work with Republicans. Jeff Merkley, senator from Oregon, was on our show yesterday, and we put up the picture of the 16 senators who are going to meet with Brian Deese over the weekend to try to hammer out some agreement on the $1.9 trillion in the relief package. And the first thing Merkley said is, there's no progressives here. That's all centrists. And I'm not sure I like the idea that this new White House is going to say, hey, we're just going to work with the middle.
I think that's a really important point. I mean, Biden is very focused on the middle, but the reality is that the Democratic Party is quite divided, and he does need to take care of liberals and progressives. There was something of a truce during the general election where liberals, Biden was not their first choice, and liberals said, look, you're certainly better for us than Donald Trump, so we're not going to keep taking shots at you throughout this general election. That's going to change if they feel like their agenda is getting left on the sidelines, if they feel like Biden isn't going far enough. He is going to hear from them. So yes, he does need to focus on the middle because that's how he's going to pull some Republicans over into his corner. But that doesn't do him a lot of good if he loses Democrats on the other end of the spectrum.
Well, as Joe Biden would say, screw off. I don't care about you, lefties. I think he didn't use those exact words. I think there was a come on, Jack, somewhere in there, and there's slightly different.
I have no empathy for millennials.
I have no empathy for millennials is another good way to put it.
Yep.
But
or you should vote for Trump.
This is funny. Yeah. Or you should tell people they should vote for Trump, and then yelling at them if they vote, and calling them bad people if they. Anyway, there's no winning in this, and I'm tired of not winning. So the left is very toothless when it comes to doing things. It's like you know they're not going to give you anything. You know they're going to ignore you. That you know that they're going to be like, oh, 5 or 10% of people get to control 1% of the budget. Tee hee, look at how fair and balanced we are. They're going to screw you. They're going to lie to you. They're going to promise you things and not give it to you. Remember, AOC was like waiting on this entire thing to try and get seats. That was the trade.
And they got nothing.
And they got nothing.
Nope.
The progressives are now large enough to make something happen, to now split a wedge. And what do they say? No, we're not going to do that because we're going to be fair and balanced. At the same time, Joe Manchin's like, no, let me hold up everything because I don't disagree with this. My mansion's not large enough. This is where we're at. We're not going to get anything for progressives for being nice. You can brown nose Joe Biden all you want. You're not going to get more legislation passed in your favor. You can do any of this stuff. Turns out what works historically is trying to force a vote on an issue, trying to say, hey, that bill that you want to get passed, you better put this bill that the 10 of us want in, or we're not going to vote for it. And you know you're not going to get what you want. Republicans do all the time, and I have to remind everyone, Republicans are pretty goddamn effective at getting stuff done. And Democrats are immensely ineffective. And progressives, when forced to choose between those two paths, they go, I want to be less effective than the Democrats, and I want to get less out of it, and I'm still going to come back for more.
And so let's look at, the progressive movement as a whole, because there is still a chance. It's just, I think relying on the Democrats to do the job is a fool's errand. I mean, it's one thing during 2016 up to 2020, it's one thing to rally protests and protest in front of Trump Tower, until the George Floyd protests happen. I mean, that's not going to bring in much change.
Yeah.
You got to do more. You have to hold these people's feet to the real fire. And that means like a force the vote kind of thing, where it shined a light even on our 15 progressive colleagues, our progressive allies in the Congress, and they didn't answer. But yet there were 5 Democrats that didn't vote for Nancy Pelosi, Nancy who likes to eat her ice cream out of her $25,000 refrigerator. I don't see any consequence or repercussions to that. The only real Democratic lawmaker that has earned my respect at this point in time has been Tulsi, because she's been on point with...
And she's not even in
there anymore. She's not even in there anymore. But see, here's the thing. At least she fought for what she believed in. And look... Was she perfect? No, but AOC and to those 15 progressives that are in Congress, you guys really ran on Medicare for all. All right, Tulsi was going for the Australian Medicare system. You guys ran on the Medicare for all program, those 15 progressives. And the reason why we're being talked down to is because when push comes to shove, you're not fighting back. You could be effectively so much better than Bernie Sanders or Tulsi if you choose to be. But you're not doing it, and it's making your supporters look weak. And then when your supporters have to fight for you or fight for progressive policies, we're toned down by corporate media or by blue check marks, people who have influence and power. The thing is, when the people lead, that's when the leaders follow. And by choosing not to fight back or choosing to play it safe or choosing to do traditional means of protesting, like going in front of Trump Tower, it ain't going to hunt. So you got to be ready to fight. And this stuff that we're seeing from corporate media will not work. And it's time to look at something new. And that's why I am for moving for People's Party. I'm a supporter of third parties. And that means, yes, Greens and Libertarians, hey, up your game. Because this is the time where we have to walk away from our two-party system. Because if the Democrats don't deliver on stimulus checks, on Medicare for all, on investing into our infrastructure, on doing something about student debt or medical debt or so much more, well, then we're going to see somebody, we're going to probably, dare I say it, Trump maybe run again, or somebody worse than Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump didn't build those cages at the border. Donald Trump didn't lead us from 2 wars to 7. Donald Trump wasn't in bed with the major corporations. He is now, but he didn't build this system. He, like a parasite, was able to survive in it. But if the Democrats continue with these neoliberal policies, with these neoliberal programs, we're going to get somebody worse than Trump. And if things continue to get worse, where people are out there in the streets, like I said before, when people have nothing left to lose, good luck, corporate media, blue check marks, corporate Democrats, in telling all the regular working class citizens to calm down. Because if people have nothing left to lose, I don't think you're ready for it.